Okay, let's have a look here. Houses being built in there, hundreds of them. Over here, hundreds more houses built in the last year or so. Hundreds more houses down there. This is City West, the southwest suburbs of Dublin. Now this is just one suburb of Dublin, and there's many others where just as many houses are being built. See there as well, loads of new houses being built. Just gonna rush across here before the Lewis comes. Now you could say in one point, okay, in one respect, this is good. These are places for people to live. But what's actually going on here? We are building loads of houses at the moment. It might not seem like it, but we actually are. The number of houses being built in the last 6 months or so, it's really ramped up. But we are building houses for an ever increasing population. Our population is increasing year on year. And very few people are stopping to ask, why is this happening? And why do we always have to have an expanding population? Think about it. The only reason we have an expanding population all the time is so as to serve the economy, because in order to have a growing economy, you need to have a growing population. That's how it works. But for various reasons, our own population, our own native Irish population, are not reproducing in the numbers required to produce a growing population. That's why we have immigration. And that's why, for instance, our open border to the EU is seen as a good thing by our politicians and by our economists. And of course, anyone involved in property developers, landlords, etc., they all benefit from that open border to the EU, because it means higher house prices, higher rents, etc. And more people in the country also means more consumers, more spending, more revenue, more customers for banks, etc. So there's many economic benefits to having an increasing population. But for the ordinary punter, not so much. I mean, even think in terms of the environment, the ecology. Like, look at here. Okay, that's all going to be full with houses in about a year's time, or even less, 9 months' time. All that land, all that green fields, that acts as a sponge. That actually soaks up water, prevents the area getting flooded. Same here. That was all fields there recently. Down there too, that was all fields and trees and bushes. Mostly gone now. Okay, and so that ability to soak up water to prevent flooding, that's gone. So that's just one example. But there's also the fact that there was loads of birds and rabbits and foxes and otters and other wildlife in there. I remember seeing them only a couple of years back. Mostly gone now, because their habitat, their wildlife habitat, is gone. And this is another factor, and it's why I find it so frustrating that the Greens, that the environmentalists, don't seem to care about our constantly growing population. It's really bad for wildlife, it's really bad for the environment, it's bad for the air quality, pollution, it's bad for stress levels, it's bad for quality of life. How could you be in favour of this? We have to ask ourselves, where does this end? Are we just going to keep building more and more, keep covering every spare patch of green land until there's nothing left? Is this what we want for Ireland? Is this what we want for our country? People, we need to stop and think. This is not working. This is not good for Ireland going forward. We have to stop and have a think about this. A constantly growing population is going to kill this country. It's going to strangle it. This is not what our parents wanted. This is not what our ancestors wanted for Ireland. We have to stop and have a think about this. There has to be a better way.